Topic: Attitude. Subtopics: Meaning and concept of attitudes. Significance of attitudes. Factors affecting attitudes. Ways to develop a positive attitude. How we behave at work often depends on how we feel about being there. Therefore, making sense of how people behave depends on understanding their work attitudes. An attitude refers to our opinions, beliefs, and feelings about aspects of our environment. We have attitudes toward the food we eat, people we meet, courses we take, and things we do. At work, two job attitudes have the greatest potential to influence how we behave. These are job satisfaction and organizational commitment. Job satisfaction refers to the feelings people have toward their job. If the number of studies conducted on job satisfaction is an indicator, job satisfaction is probably the most important job attitude. Institutions such as Gallup or the Society for Human Resource Management (SHRM) periodically conduct studies of job satisfaction to track how satisfied employees are at work. According to a recent Gallup survey, 90% of the employees surveyed said that they were at least somewhat satisfied with their jobs. A recent SHRM study revealed 40% who were very satisfied. For many employees, a dream job is one that isn't a nightmare. Organizational commitment is the emotional attachment people have toward the company they work for. A highly committed employee is one who accepts and believes in the company's values, is willing to put out effort to meet the company's goals, and has a strong desire to remain with the company. People who are committed to their company often refer to their company as we, as opposed to they, as in this company. We have great benefits. The way we refer to the company indicates the type of attachment and identification we have with the company. There is a high degree of overlap between job satisfaction and organizational commitment because things that make us happy with our job often make us more committed to the company as well. Companies believe that these attitudes are worth tracking because they often are associated with outcomes that are important to the controlling role, such as performance, helping others, absenteeism, and turnover. Positive work attitude. Positive work attitude is extremely important because it fosters productive thinking and leads to productive working. A positive person is more approachable and easily builds constructive relationships, which are essential in building cohesive teams. The two job attitudes that have the greatest potential to influence how an individual behaves at work are job satisfaction and organizational commitment. People consider and evaluate their work environment based on several factors like the nature of the job, the rapport and relationship they share with their superiors and peers, how they are treated in the organization, and the level of stress the job involves. Work attitudes that have the greatest potential to influence how an employee behaves are job satisfaction and organizational commitment. Job satisfaction. The feelings people have toward their job. It is probably the most important job attitude and denotes how satisfied an employee is at his work. A person with high job satisfaction appears to hold generally positive attitude, and one who is dissatisfied holds negative attitude towards their job. Organizational commitment. Organizational commitment is the emotional or psychological attachment people have toward the company they work for. A highly committed employee identifies completely with the organization's objectives and is willing to put in whatever effort it takes to meet them. Such an employee will be willing to remain with the organization and grow with it. What causes positive work attitudes? What makes you satisfied with your job and develop commitment to your company? Research shows that people pay attention to several aspects of their work environment, including how they are treated, the relationships they form with colleagues and managers, and the actual work they perform. We will now summarize the factors that show consistent relations with job satisfaction and organizational commitment. First, personality. In assessing the work environment, fully explain how satisfied we are on the job. Interestingly, some experts have shown that job satisfaction is not purely environmental and is partially due to our personality. Some people have a disposition to be happy in life and at work regardless of environmental factors. It seems that people who have a positive affective disposition, those who have a tendency to experience positive moods more often than negative moods, tend to be more satisfied with their jobs and more committed to their companies, while those who have a negative disposition tend to be less satisfied and less committed. This is not surprising, as people who are determined to see the glass as half full will notice the good things in their work environment, while those with the opposite character will find more things to complain about. In addition to our affective disposition, people who have a neurotic personality, those who are moody, temperamental, critical of themselves and others, are less satisfied with their job, while those who are emotionally more stable tend to be more satisfied. Other traits such as conscientiousness, self-esteem, locus of control, and extroversion are also related to positive work attitudes. Either these people are more successful in finding jobs and companies that will make them happy and build better relationships at work, which would increase their satisfaction and commitment, or they simply see their environment as more positive. Whichever the case, it seems that personality is related to work attitudes. Second, person-environment fit. The fit between what we bring to our work environment and the environmental demands influences our work attitudes. Therefore, person-job fit and person-organization fit are positively related to job satisfaction and commitment. When our abilities match job demands and our values match company values, we tend to be more satisfied with our job and more committed to the company we work for. Third, job characteristics. The presence of certain characteristics on the job seems to make employees more satisfied and more committed. Using a variety of skills, having autonomy at work, receiving feedback on the job, and performing a significant task are some job characteristics that are related to satisfaction and commitment. However, the presence of these factors is not important for everyone. Some people have a high growth need. They expect their jobs to help them build new skills and improve as an employee. These people tend to be more satisfied when their jobs have these characteristics. Fourth, psychological contract. After accepting a job, people come to work with a set of expectations. They have an understanding of their responsibilities and rights. In other words, they have a psychological contract with the company. A psychological contract is an unwritten understanding about what the employee will bring to the work environment and what the company will provide in exchange. When people do not get what they expect, they experience a psychological contract breach, which leads to low job satisfaction and commitment. Imagine that you were told before being hired that the company was family-friendly and collegial. However, after a while, you realize that they expect employees to work 70 hours a week, and employees are aggressive toward each other. You are likely to experience a breach in your psychological contract and be dissatisfied. One way of preventing such problems is for companies to provide realistic job previews to their employees. Fifth, organizational justice. A strong influence over our satisfaction level is how fairly we are treated. People pay attention to the fairness of company policies and procedures, treatment from supervisors, and pay in other rewards they receive from the company. 6. Relationships at work. Two strong predictors of our happiness at work and commitment to the company are our relationships with co-workers and managers, the people we interact with, their degree of compassion, our level of social acceptance in our work group, and whether we are treated with respect are all important factors surrounding our happiness at work. Research also shows that our relationship with our manager, how considerate the manager is, and whether we build a trust-based relationship with our manager are critically important to our job satisfaction and organizational commitment. When our manager and upper management listen to us, care about us, and value our opinions, we tend to feel good at work. Even small actions may show employees that the management cares about them. For example, Hotel Carlton in San Francisco was recently taken over by a new management group. One of the small things the new management did created dramatic results. In response to an employee attitude survey, they replaced the old vacuum cleaners housekeepers were using and established a policy of replacing them every year. This simple act of listening to employee problems and taking action went a long way to making employees feel that the management cares about them. 7. Stress. Not surprisingly, the amount of stress present in our job is related to our satisfaction and commitment. For example, experiencing role ambiguity, vagueness in relation to what our responsibilities are, role conflict, facing contradictory demands at work, and organizational politics, and worrying about the security of our job are all stressors that make people dissatisfied. On the other hand, not all stress is bad. Some stressors actually make us happier. For example, working under time pressure and having a high degree of responsibility are stressful, but they can also be perceived as challenges and tend to be related to high levels of satisfaction. 8. Work-life balance. In the 1950s, people's work was all-consuming. Employees went to work, worked long hours, and the rest of the family accepted that work came first. As society changed, the concept of always putting work first became outdated. In modern times, more employees expect to lead balanced lives, pursue hobbies, and spend more time with their children while at the same time continuing to succeed at work. The notion of work-family conflict is one cause of job dissatisfaction. This conflict can be particularly strong for women because of the time necessary for pregnancy and giving birth, but men struggle with it as well. When work life interferes with family life, we are more stressed and unhappy with our jobs. Research shows that policies that help employees achieve a balance between their work and personal lives, such as allowing telecommuting, are related to higher job satisfaction. For example, the medical resources group of the pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca International does not have fixed working hours, and employees can work any hours they choose. Motorola's Technological Acceleration Group also has flexible hours and can work from anywhere, home, office, or a coffee shop, at any time. List of bad or negative attitudes in the workplace. Here are the few most common negative traits found in the workplace, or different types of attitude problem in the workplace. First, exaggerating co-workers' mistakes in the team. One of the most common negative attitude found in the workplace is exaggerating others' mistakes, which is not a very decent attitude. It is very natural for an employee to commit a mistake in their work. There are few negative attitude people who try to ruin others' career by highlighting the mistakes committed by them. Yes, it is very essential to make them understand their mistake and help them recover from it. but not spreading it throughout the office, as it will eventually pull them down and feel bad about it. Second, speak ill about other employees or spread rumors. There are times where few employees miss out in their personal or professional life, and it might also reach the workplace by many loopholes. In those cases, there are few negative attitude employees who spread the rumors or comment on others' personal life in the workplace. This will totally ruin the affected person, as well as it will create a negative image of them. Spreading rumors is one of the most common type of negative attitude, which has a lot of impact on the workplace. Third, backbiting about the managers or co-workers. It is a very bad manner to speak about a person when they are not present in the place. This does not mean you should never speak about anyone in the workplace, but it is very negative to speak ill about others or comment about others when they are not present in the place. Especially, commenting on the manager's opinion or speaking about others' way of thinking is a very negative attitude in the work environment. Fourth, dominate the team or do not be in line with the higher officials. Being not in line with the motive of the organization is also one negative attitude exhibited by the employees. For example, there are few employees who always tries to dominate the team or never go in sync with the team's opinion. It is good to have individuality in a team, but do not create havoc or always try to oppose the higher officials' verdict on any issues in the workplace. Fifth, never accepting the criticisms. Every employee may receive both kinds of criticisms from their colleagues or higher officials. It is very natural to feel bad when receiving negative comments. But this does not mean no negative feedback cannot be accepted. One of the most common negative attitudes is to oppose or fight back when they do not receive good criticisms. Showing attitude or retaliating on negative comments is not a good way to show opposition. 6. Do not compliment the good work of others, rather try to pull them down by speaking negatively. There are times where co-workers might perform their best or have a good setback for their project. At those times, there are few employees who do not appreciate others' good work or never compliment any other employees in the office. This is one of the worst negative attitudes, which ruins an individual's character completely, as appreciating at work or encouraging co-workers is very important in the workplace. Worst case is negative attitude. People also speaks ill about an employee who outperforms in the workplace. 7. Too many expectations on their presence in the team. In an office environment, not every single day the higher officials might encourage or compliment their team members. It is very natural to forget or miss out a few employees even when they show a better performance in the team. One of the most common negative attitudes is expecting too much in appreciation or always expecting to be in the limelight in their own organization. This is a very suffocating attitude, as it might disturb the whole team, as everyone might become very conscious of each other. 8. Expressing the views in a very rude manner. Not all times it is necessary for a team to accept every single employee's opinion. Few employees' viewpoint or opinion might be rejected when it comes to making a progressive decision for the team. One of the worst ways of showing a negative attitude is expressing the displeasure in a very rude manner. Sometimes, a few negative attitude employee might show the worst workplace behavioral attitude, like tapping the table or shouting in a higher tone in the team to show their displeasure. This is a very disturbing attitude, as it might disturb the work ethics as well as ruin the entire atmosphere in the workplace. 9. Showing disrespect for other emotions. Every single employee in an organization might have a different lifestyle or various personal opinion on many issues. One of the most disturbing negative attitudes is to show disrespect to others' opinion. For example, in an office where thousands of people work together, few employees might feel like taking a break from work or might have some personal emergencies. In such cases, there are few senior employees who do not respect or appreciate their team members' decision. They either try to neglect or make fun of their team members' emotions in a very harsh way. This kind of negative attitude is very commonly found among employers. 10th. A very non-confidential attitude towards team issues. Every organization might have very confidential matters which cannot be discussed outside the team, and it is a necessity to share the confidential matter among the team but not outside the team. In such cases, there are few employees who always spread very confidential matters outside the team, or they do not maintain any kind of secrets within themselves. This kind of negative attitude might harm the team as well create a bad image for the person. 11th. No ownership when committed a mistake. It is very common to commit a mistake in a team. There are few people who either get scared to take the ownership of committing the mistake or in a wanted way escapes from accepting the committed mistake. This type of attitude is not healthy and it causes a negative vibe in the whole team. Taking ownership is a must either in positive circumstances or negative circumstances. And it is a very negative attitude to avoid taking ownership in the workplace. 12. Introverted nature is not acceptable at all times. It is not necessary that every employee has to socialize with all the members of the team and be a very go-to person. But it is essential to not be a very moody person or have a very introverted nature. This cannot be called as a negative attitude, but there are chances of being misunderstood by the team as they do not share anything or they tend to stay away from the team most of the times. That too introverted nature becomes a problem when the employee stays away from being in a team while making important decision-making scenarios. How to deal with negative attitudes and feelings. Not everyone is going to be positive all the time. That's an unrealistic idea, but even when people are down and at their most negative, there are things one can do to deal with those emotions and actions around the office to keep them from impacting others. Even if it's just one coworker causing an issue, take matters into your own hands for your own happiness at work. First, choose who you associate with carefully. If you find yourself surrounded by negative coworkers, see if you can switch cubicles or teams within the same department, Bayer said. Make conscious decisions with your space and your time at work that will result in surrounding yourself with coworkers with positive attitudes. In that vein, I am someone who will deliberately avoid spending time with people who have a bad attitude at work, or anywhere for that matter, Finley said. As a positive attitude can be contagious. Unfortunately, a negative attitude can also spread through people, and before you know it, your mindset can completely change with too much exposure to these types of people. Second, be encouraging. I encourage my clients and their teams to remember that everyone is trying their best, Sheeran said. No one wakes up in the morning wanting to screw up or do a bad job, so give some consideration and empathy to others. Third, ask questions and don't assume. No matter the positive or negative attitudes at work, it's important to be mindful in the workplace, said Lizzie Benton, culture consultant at Liberty Mind. Rather than letting yourself be consumed by a negative attitude, question why that person might be coming across in that way. Don't take it personally, and do your best to build a barrier against negative comments or behaviors. Showing positive attitude in the workplace as easy as saying yes. Preaching positivity is easy. Putting it into practice and being genuine about it is more difficult. You can show a positive attitude through the words you use, Sweeney said. Become a yes person and try new things to see how you do. Give your time and ask co-workers how you can help them out if you have a free moment. Volunteer to take the lead on new assignments. Be kind to everyone and genuine. Do not gossip constantly or spread rumors. Positive people show their positive attitude in their words, actions, and feelings. Positive people radiate differently. Just by walking in a room with their energy, it changes the world and people around them. The general consensus among experts is that showing a positive attitude is all about your demeanor. Speaker and personal development coach Jessie Bayer said that showing a smile rather than looking miserable can alter the mood of an entire office. She also said that the way you react to situations and relate to co-workers can make a big difference. Not only does having a positive attitude in the workplace make your day much more fun and more productive, but it affects your co-workers as well, Bayer said. Would you prefer to be surrounded by co-workers with negative attitudes who all hate their lives and their jobs, or would you prefer to be surrounded by co-workers who are focusing on their wins, no matter how small, and learning from their failures? The importance of a good attitude on the job. If you've ever woken up on the wrong side of the bed and wandered into work in a foul mood, it's important to rethink your decision. Your attitude at work affects your productivity and your rise to the top, in addition to affecting your health and the moods of those around you. It's best to have a good attitude while at work. A positive attitude shows your employees, managers, and leaders that you are ready to tackle anything. It emanates confidence, empowerment, and joy. A good attitude tells others that you have the initiative to get the job done, no matter what. As a result, a good attitude at work can actually help the business succeed, which can lead to promotions and other incentives down the line. A study by Gallup shows that organizations with highly engaged teams are 21% more profitable than those that aren't. This means that employees who are invested in their work have the power to take their organization to new heights. When the company is more profitable, it's likely that the employees will be able to see similar incentives through career advancements and raises. First, enjoying health benefits. A bad attitude can lead to or be the result of stress in the workplace, which affects your physical and mental health. Some of the issues that stress people out the most are the quantity of their workload, issues with their colleagues, juggling work-life balance, and a lack of job security. While it can be difficult to brush these feelings off, it's important to try to see the positive side of these situations in order to reduce stress. The amount of stress on the job isn't going to go away anytime soon. In fact, according to the American Institute of Stress, 75% of employees believe that workers have more job-related stress now than a generation ago. The stress continues to grow, so it's important to not let it affect attitude at work. Instead, it's critical to reduce stress to alleviate negative attitudes and enforce positive feelings. If workplace stress is getting you down, be sure not to bottle up emotions. Instead, confide in a trusted family member or friend. Talking about issues can often help people to see different perspectives. Try a stress-reducing activity, such as yoga or dancing, which have positive effects on both physical and mental health. Second, overcoming workplace obstacles. Having a good attitude at work can help you to solve problems more effectively. After all, one of the most common positive attitude at work quotes is, "When the going gets tough, the tough get going." This means that when faced with adversity, you can counteract the hardship by focusing on your inner strength to get the job done. With a positive attitude, it's easier to face workplace issues because you have the drive to see it through. Challenges at work arise every day. Whether you have a quarrel with a coworker about who should have completed the task, or you're worried your manager is hiding something from you. These situations can lead to stress, in addition to negative attitudes. With a positive attitude, you have more than just the skill to complete the job, you have the will to do it. You need tenacity, resilience, and determination to achieve success. Third, cheering up others. A positive attitude can be contagious. When you see employees all around you who have a pleasing disposition, it's natural to begin feeling the same way. The importance of attitude in the workplace is that it affects everyone around you, whether positively or negatively. The way you choose to behave will rub off on your boss and on your colleagues. So choose carefully, lead your team by example, and make an effort to have a good attitude at work. Showing traits such as honesty, courage, determination, and initiative not only help your company to perform better, they help your colleagues to perform better too.